Welcome back guys. In this video I'll be testing F125 on my Rog Ally running on Windows 11. It hosts the license for 2025 Formula 1 and Formula 2 championships. The game features all the drivers and tracks from the 2025 Formula 1 World Championship, the Breaking Point story mode which featured in Formula 1 2021 and 23 returns. Tracks were revamped using LiDAR technology. More real-time radio messages were added alongside revamped podium ceremonies. Laser scan tracks include Bahrain, Miami, Melbourne, Suzuka and Imola. I have already done my testing on Rog Ally. Game runs very nicely, does not suffer from any stuttering issue. Officially supports FSR 3.1 and XeSS version 2. We can even combine XeSS Upscaler with FSR frame generation. But I observed some graphical artifacts around the car's bumper with FSR frame generation enabled. Less graphical artifacts were produced using AFMF 2.1, which is AMD's driver level implementation of frame generation, officially supported by Rog Ally. I have an active membership of EA Play, which I got from my PC Gamepass subscription. EA Play gives us a 5-hour trial access to the game. Would like to thank keymailer and Xbox for providing me with a free monthly subscription of PC Gamepass. This subscription gives us access to hundreds of games. You can play these games for as long as you want until a subscription expires. Games from first-party Microsoft Studio and even third-party studios are available on PC Gamepass. Even EA Play membership is included. For the EA app version of the game's profile did not pop up automatically in Adrenaline software. I'll show you how to access the game's Adrenaline settings. Open Adrenaline software, go to the gaming section, click on the 3 dots here, click on add a game. Just need to navigate to the game's installed directory. In my case it's C drive, Epic folder, games install folder. This is the game's install directory. Here you just need to add the game's main exe file. If you own the full game, add f1_25.exe. I own the trial version, so I'll just select f1_25_trial, click on open. I've already done that. There's the game's profile, select it. Adrenaline settings, FreeSync, VSync and anti-lag settings on. AFMF disabled for the time being. For this game I have set the UMA buffer size to 6 GB. My Ally is running on BIOS version 3.1. I have installed Ally's latest official GPU driver that added support for Doom the Dark Ages. Using a 27 watts manual profile, all 3 power values set at 27 watts. 900p resolution CPU boost disabled. Connected my 8-bit to Ultimate 2C controller to Ally Wire 2.4 GHz wireless mode. Launch the game. Select play F125. This game is not compatible with Linux, won't work on Steam Deck, it runs on Linux-based SteamOS. Choose the game settings, graphics, motion blur 10 set to nil. First I'll run the game using the medium preset. Post-processing settings set to low. And these are the settings that come with the medium preset. Variable rate shading off. NVIDIA reflex, it won't work on Rog Ally. Ally has an AMD based GPU. Hair quality disabled. Open video mode settings. Resolution 900p, borderless full screen mode. Pacing off. Refresh rate 120Hz, no FPS cap applied. Isotropic filtering 16 times. Upscaler set to XeSS, it's version 2. Using the Upscaler's quality preset. Frame generation disabled for the time being. Dynamic resolution off. Yeah, that's it. I'll start the game story mode Breaking Point. It revolves around the Corner Sport Butler Global Racing team as they mount a challenge for the World Championship. Cutscene. Driver went off track. 120 FPS, no issues here. New to this version of Breaking Point is that in certain chapters, the player will have to choose as to which driver to play, either Cali or Aiden. I am playing as Aiden. Objective, finishing third or above. I keep an eye on the FPS counter and the frame pacing graph. Wow, the game is running so smoothly. Many other racers end this race. This is the 11th lap, 16 laps in total. Not observing any stuttering. Image quality is looking sharp. XeSS version 2 upscaler for you. Not observing any artifacts around the vehicle. I'll go off track. Drive on the gravel. It usually comes with a minor hit on the performance. The FPS dropped to around 70, not bad. Lost around 5 to 7 FPS by going off track. Okay, now I'll run the game using the high preset. FPS mostly stayed above 70 to 80 with the medium preset. Detail preset set to high. Post process set to low. Disable VRS. Variable rate shading. That's it. Resume the game. The FPS dropped to around 50. We are hitting the GPU bottleneck. Not observing any stuttering. The FPS is staying close to 60, not bad at all. You can definitely play the game on high settings. FPS mostly stays within a range of 50 to 60. Oh no, went off track. The FPS dropped to around 50. Rewind. Okay, I'll just enable FSR frame generation now, combine it with the high preset. FPS should increase to around 100 if frame generation works properly. Set frame generation to AMD FSR 3. Need to restart the game in order to apply the change. It's the same Imola track. Yeah, we are getting close to 90 FPS. Game is running very smoothly. FSR frame generation is working properly. But just observe the ugly ghosting produced around the tires of the vehicle, around the bottom edge of the display. It's a common FSR frame generation related artifact. Excessive ghosting produced around a fast moving vehicle. I've seen this artifact in Cyberpunk 2077, Forza Horizon 5, NFS, the latest one. You can reduce these graphical artifacts by changing to a different camera perspective, like the cockpit view. See? Some graphical artifacts can be seen here. Getting close to 100 FPS. Game is running very nicely. Less graphical artifacts compared to the far chase camera perspective. I'll use the nose camera perspective now. 90 to 100 FPS. I'm observing some ghosting here. What I'm going to do is disable FSR frame generation and enable AFMF 2.1. It produces less graphical artifacts than FSR. Video mode. Set frame generation to off. Not recommended from my side. Exit the game. Open the game's adrenaline settings. Disable VSync from here. Enable AFMF 2.1. I've set the search mode to high. This prevents frame generation smoothing effect from getting disabled during fast visual motion. Performance mode set to quality. Apply a 60 FPS cap using radiant chill. Set idle and peak FPS values to 60. Don't use afterburner overlay. Just enable adrenaline's performance overlay. Only it can show the true FPS count with AFMF enabled. Launch. Load the same sequence. The FPS is close to 90. Frame generation lag value 17 milliseconds only. Input delay is not a problem, as you can see. Now just observe the car's bumper, the tires. They are not exhibiting that ugly ghosting effect which we saw in the case of FSR frame generation. So I would not recommend using FSR frame generation in this game. On Rog Ally, just use AFMF 2.1. I mean, look at the results. I'll just switch to the cockpit view. This is the far chase view. Give you a better idea about the input delay. See? Just observe the left stick and the steering wheel. Latency is not an issue. I'll just load the game's multiplayer mode now. The game also features a carrier mode, can be accessed from the menu. Just start F1 World. want to play against other players online, play. I'll just start the game's rank mode, bronze division, joining session, connected to a 5 GHz band Wi-Fi channel. I'm from India. Hopefully there won't be any latency issues. Viewing the home of this user. Alright, the online race is going on. 17 racers in this race. This is the second lap. See a player right front of me, getting roughly the same performance in the multiplayer match that I was getting in the single player match. 90 to 100 FPS. This is the Canada track. Look at the movement of this guy. See the platforms of the players. Xbox, EA, Steam. Not observing any latency issues. Connected to a 5 GHz band Wi-Fi channel, playing the game from India. Overall, it's a very good experience on Rog Ally. Just use AFMF 2.1 for enabling frame generation instead of using FSR 3.1. I can't get past this guy. Okay, he rammed his vehicle into the barricade. Made things easier for me. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.